Greet you all students of third year. This is paper first, unit B, and we have been discussing Tennyson's second poem, Crossing the Bar. And we discussed the allegorical significance, symbolical significance, and yes, of course, the important message that poet he tends to convey to the whole mankind. And we have important metaphors. So, yes, you just have a look. Ship, the poet, he depicts the image of ship. Now, what is ship here? Metaphorical, we have important metaphors. Human soul. Now, another important theme in this poem, Crossing the Bar, that human soul, it is eternal. Now, the soul, it will never die. Then why should we bother about death? This is what, this is the important, conception. Even in holy scriptures, we have this important notion, yes. And see, we have metaphor of sunset, evening star, and it indicates it, all this. Yet, the sunset and evening star symbolize old age. And old age, Tennyson himself, as it is an autobiographical poem. And ocean, the poet, he discusses the say metaphor of sea, ocean. Now, what is it actually? See, now it is also reminiscent of William Shakespeare's famous sonnet, Like as Waves. Do you remember? You must have studied it, yes, of course, at first year level. So, the life, it is just like wave. We are going from this end, the shore, to that one. So, for your better understanding, you can make comparisons also, or in a way, certain kind of, reminiscence. Yes, you get reminded of that beautiful sonnet. So here, ocean of eternity. So the poet's journey. Yeah, so this journey from, this world to the world beyond. Now this world actually, it is bound by time, but that world is eternal world. So text is very important. Just have a look, Crossing the Bar. Yes. And here, see, in the, immortality of human soul. See, we have four stanzas in this very small, very nice, beautiful lyric. And the poet's, his staunch faith in his permanent mentor. Now, who is permanent mentor? Pilot, God. Concept, in the final stanza, we will discuss in much detail. God is our pilot who, gives us direction of life. What will be the right path? All the time, see, Tennyson's, yes, intensity of emotions, and at the same time, the message of compassion and, universal brotherhood he has conveyed. That, that we must always constantly think of these important, ideas, these important values of human life. So the poet's philosophical expression, just okay. Now, when immortality of human soul, faith in God, this is very important. When he, in the beginning, first stanza, when he discusses sunset and evening star, and say, what is it actually? Sunset, what does it imply? Is that this is old age and very close to death, and this is the end of life. This is the poet, and just the parting of soul from body. Now, what is actually the importance of this? What is symbolical significance of first stanza? Students try to understand here. The poet, when he discusses the immortality of human soul, is one of the important themes. So point wise we will discuss for your better understanding. Now, the soul does not die and it is immortal. And it is highlighted even in Holy Scripture, Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So there should be no lamentation. Now the crux of this notion is that why should we weep and why should we lament? There should be no crying, no weeping. And Tennyson in this important, very nice lyric, he actually shares his views that when he leaves this world to the real abode, actually we would reach real abode. So this is the destination of life. And what is the destination of life? Yes, God's abode, ocean of eternity. And therefore, see, in the first stanza, the poem begins with the poets hearing to the one clear call. So one clear call by God for him. What is the meaning of that? Yes, the poet is absolutely prepared, and rather he is happy when he leaves this world and he would go to the world beyond. So this world is materialistic world and tangible, visible, audible, and the world of senses, five, this senses, sense of hearing, touching, obviously sight and all that. I mean, five senses. But the poet actually, when he hears this call, the call by God, and this bar is the harbor with, sands scattered over there. And yes, the important point is that there should be no weeping. So the point that poet wants to hear focus is that nobody will weep when he leaves the world. This is in a way a sort of joy for the poet. Then why should one weep? And why there can be any kind of lamentation? No mourning. Yes. So this is the mourning here, that there should be no weeping, crying, or sadness. Okay. When I put out to sea, see the last line of first stanza. The metaphor, the journey of his soul from this world to the world beyond. And it is for this reason, since the poet obviously, he expresses the philosophical ideas and philosophical expression that he has full faith in God. And so he is going to meet his real mentor, his guide. And therefore, there should be no weeping when he leaves this world. This is the point that. Now, point wise, you can see the first stanza. Just have a look. These points for your better understanding. Crossing the bar, in which philosophical expression. Okay. So, immortality of human soul in the first stanza, and sunset and evening star, symbol of old age. Is that clear, students? And bar, what is the meaning of bar? The harbor with sounds scattered. And I mean, here, some kind of sense in sound, but harbor here particularly the poet has pointed out, because see the picture of harbor where sands and scattered over there, and therefore here the point is that when he really leaves this world, there should be no weeping, no lamentation. And when I put out to the sea, when I put out means metaphor, the journey of the soul. Okay, now come to the second stanza. This is also, in which the metaphors, we have significance of metaphors. And see, a tide as moving seems sleep. See here in the poet here, he has depicted this. Now the waves, they are very calm and quiet. See what kind of atmosphere actually the paradox of human life. Generally, death. Nobody wants to articulate this word. But the poet is of the opinion that, yes, it is. He very, very, full-heartedly accepts this. He welcomes death. Again, it is reminiscent of Robert Browning's Precipice, And see the Robert Browning, he commences the poem, fear death, ever fighter, one fight more. I mean, so these Victorian poets, optimistic attitude and approach, and reflection of optimism in these poems, and obviously philosophical ideas reflected in these poems. Now, the again, the sea. See the we have metaphor of sea of eternity on the one hand, and sea is also for life. I mean, when you journey of this life, so what kind of atmosphere there should be? Calm, absolutely calm and quiet atmosphere. There should be no disturbance. So no commotion, no any kind of commotion and disturbance means no agitation, and people, they should not have any kind of lamentation, mourning, because see the concept of boundless deep, this is ocean of eternity, as I have pointed out in the beginning. Okay, so this is the ocean of eternity for your better understanding. Okay, so this is boundless. Now what is the reason, what is the meaning of bound by time? Now this world is bound by time in the sense, for instance, we have days, weeks, months, and obviously years, decades, and so on. But this turns again, home is very important. This is the very, very important here. It means the poet, he wants to reach the home, the final abode, destination. And it is for this reason there should be no mourning. And see the sound and form. Now, what is the meaning of sound and form? It means there should be no restlessness. Actually, when see the conception of sea, metaphorical. There is no kind of commotion on the surface of sea, no kind of disturbance, no commotion, and absolutely calm and quiet sea. So this is the sound and form. It means no disturbance, no restlessness, no agitation at all. At what time? When the poet, yes, he is crossing the bar of human life. Okay, and boundless deep means ocean of eternity. Is that clear? So this is these are the important points, and you just have a look for your better understanding. See the metaphors, significance of that, and the poet, when he points out here that metaphorical significance of this world, the harbor, and the journey of ship from this world to the world beyond. Okay, so these are certain important expressions. Okay, the poets, and now here another important point that he wants to focus. And what's that here, in which towards the eternal home of God, which is real home. So the conception of here, in which we have see the journey towards destination, and it happens with everybody. I mean, it is transitoriness of human life. When we, in the beginning, when we discussed the philosophical expression, it means, and we must accept this reality all the time, and constantly see, if we have this reality in our mind, all the vices, all the negativity will be removed from this world. People actually, they think that they are immortal and they will never leave this world, and see so much involvement. I mean, you must put yourself in action, and all the works assigned to you must be done honestly, sincerely, and you must perform your duty at your best. But at the same time, you must be prepared for this, at particularly when poet he has written in old age. So this is the cycle of human life, And this contemplative, meditative thoughts, they find full expression in this finest lyric composed by Alfred Tennyson. Okay, so see in the third stanza, and obviously when he discusses human soul, and now human soul is ship, is that clear? And its journey to the destination. Now in the third stanza, the poet, he has also pointed out that twilight and evening bell. Now what does it signify? Twilight, evening time, old age, that is the end of life. And we have contextualization. It means Tennyson, when he was crossing that river, particularly Solent, as I have mentioned earlier, and this is a journey, but at the same time, this is the important point, is that the dark and embark. See, the dark and embark. These two notions are very important. The dark means darkness of death. Evening time, now old age is followed by darkness of night, death. And embark means the poet, he has undertaken this journey and sailing the ship towards the destination. So the idea here is that when I embark, here means there should be no sadness. See, the poet has used here repetitive device. There should be no, even in the first, now you notice that in first stanza, no mourning. Even in second, there should be no sound and form. There no disturbance, no restlessness. People should not weep at his death. No sadness of farewell when I embark. He is, he undertakes this journey, and he is rather eager to reach his destination. Okay, so these are, very, very significant and ideas, being reflected in the poem. And now in the fourth stanza, this is also remarkable expression of optimism. And it reminds us again, famous Victorian poet Robert Browning. And, obviously when the pilot, the concept of pilot, he has also, in his poems, even in My Last Ride Together, and his, robust optimism is even Rabbi Ben Ezra, one of the remarkable poems by Robert Browning. He welcomes old age and all that. See that kind of, consummation of human life, perfection of human life. So the poet here, Tennyson also, he welcomes death. Now he's not frightened. There is no feeling of apprehension, and even he asks others and readers and the whole mankind that nobody should have any kind of feeling of apprehension. Rather, he welcomes it. So positivity, now what are important points here? Positivity, and of course fearlessness. See, if you are honest, if you are doing your task honestly, perfectly, and rather sincerely, with integrity, okay, then there will be, obviously you will achieve your goal, and you will be rewarded with the gift of fearlessness. Then why should there is no reason of being frightened. The reason is, so just see, this is the fourth stanza, very important one, and third and fourth, point wise you can very well understand it. So we have, see, this is symbolical significance, and we have metaphors of twilight, and obviously as I have just mentioned it, old age, and okay, so this embark, undertake the journey, and expression of optimism and positivity. So he welcomes death. Then the real abode, because now what is the reason of this positivity? That he radiates here, vibration, positive vibration, because he is eager to meet his perfect guide. Pilot, Now, what is the job of pilot? Giving right direction. And see if you want to reach your destination. Pilot, obviously. So, God is our pilot. Permanent pilot. Who is our permanent pilot? God. Because all the time, this is called actually staunch faith and ultimate goodness of God. And if you have constantly in your mind, you don't have any kind of feeling of apprehension. You become fearless. If you are virtuous, you will be fearless. You will not be frightened of anything. And this is what exactly, Victorian spirit, which has great universal appeal. Okay, so this is, see, you just have a look, very nice, crossing the bar and say eternity, perfect joy and pilot, supreme power, remote control in his hand. All the time, if you have, constantly this kind of feeling that it is, God's abode and eternity, and it is perfect joy and peace and love. Where? When he reaches the destination. Okay, so I think this is very, very important point in this poem. So the pilot, and all the time he has been guiding us, but this much of light we must have. Okay, now very important point in fourth stanza. See that eternity. What is the reason eternity, perfect joy and love and peace? Because that is not bound. That real abode, that abode or home of God, our real home, which is not bound by time and place. Timelessness is very important, and that's why the poet points out that here, see, this is the reason that it is not, bound by months and years and all that. See the decades, and that's why he points out that he welcomes death. So this is the reason that he is rather very, enthusiastic that his departure from this world to the world beyond. Okay, so the fourth stanza, timelessness, and he is eager to reach his real abode, yes, perfect love and peace over there, and the world of eternity, which is not bound by time and place, days, weeks, months, years and decades. And he is craving for this eternal love, because divine guide he would meet. So see, at the time of death, nobody should weep and cry. There should be no wailing, weeping, crying, lamentation. See, rather one should be happy. It is this occasion, according to Alfred Tennyson, that people should be, yes, joyous and enthusiastic, jubilant, because they are going to meet real guide, and that is real abode, real house, real home, and God who always guides us even in this world. So when I have crossed the bar, very, very precious moment of Tennyson's life. After having crossed the bar, life, he reaches, yes, ocean of eternity. So these are, this is the final, part of this poem, and you just have a look. Beautiful expression, yeah, source of inspiration for the whole mankind. Born. See the meaning in the final stanza, that is fourth one. Born is boundary. I mean, this world which is bound by time and place, but the world beyond is the world of eternity, timelessness, perfect love. And who is the pilot? Yes, and yeah, obviously God, divine guide all the time, and who gives us right direction, vision and direction to human life. So here, the flood again for the ocean of eternity. So very precious moment, valuable, peculiar moment of Tennyson's life, that Yes, he would reach ocean of eternity. And yes, of course, this is love, peace, perfect joy and peace. And that is why the poet, he is overwhelmed with this moment, and he shares these kind of remarkable experiences with his readers. Thank you.